Hey guys, welcome back to another cooking video. This is a very exciting time. We've recently been made aware of some food intolerances, some food allergies in our household. So we're being forced to experiment in the kitchen. We're trying new ingredients, new techniques, new styles of cooking, and we're trying to find workarounds so we can still eat a lot of the food we love without having to incorporate those ingredients that we have to stay away from. So I wanted to share one of these recipes with you. I did make something similar to this for Valentine's Day, but obviously I was too focused on the magic to make a video then. It's a completely gluten and lactose free spaghetti and turkey meatballs. Very quick, very easy, very delicious, super healthy. Let's get cooking. Okay, so what you're gonna need for this recipe is obviously some ground turkey, some onion. I'm gonna use the rest of the shallot that we have, some garlic, some salt and pepper. We have these smoked salt and peppers that we got from the One of a Kind show. You're gonna need an egg. You're gonna need some Italian seasoning, a little bit of spicy peppers. Me and my dad dehydrated and made these crushed pepper flakes a couple years ago. You're gonna need some cherry tomatoes, and instead of breadcrumbs, we're gonna crush up some nuts. You can use whatever you want. We have these salted almonds. I'm also gonna use this lactose-free black diamond marble, just a little bit ground up in it to give it a little bit of that cheesy flavor, because we obviously can't use a Parmesan or anything. And obviously some olive oil. And we're just gonna kind of mix everything up in the bowl, put them on, bake them for 15 minutes, and boil some of this. And this is Catelli gluten-free spaghetti. Now, we've tried a million different gluten-free pastas, and you know, they're not great, but this pasta is spectacular. It tastes exactly like regular pasta, and if you're, you know, have a gluten intolerance, or if you're celiac, I would for sure try this. Now, it's certified gluten-free. I would definitely give it a try. Anyways, let's get into it. First, we're gonna get our mixing bowl. Oh, that smells good. Put in our ground turkey. Gonna put in our bit of Italian seasoning. We're gonna get our trusty old kitchen knife. And if you're at all familiar with my cooking videos, you'll realize I always forget to preheat the oven. We're gonna bake at 325, maybe 350. And we're just gonna We're gonna cut up the garlic. You gotta give her that little bit of a crush first to make sure all the flavor comes out. And you wanna make sure, obviously, that you get rid of all that wrapper that's on it. You wanna, our mincer broke, but either way, I think for something like this, you gotta like the chunks. You just wanna get it real thin. And, ooh, yeah, look at that, super thin. In this kitchen, we're not concerned with symmetrical pieces. We want some big pieces, we want some small pieces. We want every bite to be a bit of a surprise. Now we're gonna get our myrtle and pestle. I'm gonna put a little bit of that smoked Newfoundland salt. I'm gonna put a bit of that smoked black pepper. We're gonna give it a bit of a crunch and a spin. Lay that in there. We're gonna add a bit of olive oil. We're gonna add an egg. We're gonna add some crushed hot peppers. And we're gonna crush up some salted almonds. So the egg and the almonds, normally you'd use the breadcrumbs, are what binds the meatballs together and keeps them moist. But honestly, the nuts work just as well, if not better. And you get them in a regular size, you'll see in a second, and you get some of that surprise crunch. It holds it together, keeps it moist, adds a little bit of flavor. We're just gonna throw our little tea towel there. The back of the knife, not the sharp part. Another trick I learned from my dad. This is what I should have done to that pork tenderloin while I was butterflying it. We're getting there, we're getting there. Still not quite there. See,
Some of this is a little good, but you don't want chunks that big. Real small chunks are good, they'll still bind. Medium-sized chunks are good, because you'll get that bit of the surprise crunch and flavor. Huge chunks are no bueno. Too big, occupies too much space, and I think it kind of stops it from binding. There's a nice sweet spot. Gonna filter out some of the bigger stuff, and maybe we'll take some of the bigger, medium-sized stuff too. Chuck that in there. And the last thing, we're just gonna grate a tiny little bit of lactose-free marbled cheese and eat some for good luck. Put that in. It's time to mix. Can't get around it, you gotta use your hands. It's the only proper way to mix meatballs. Get in there. Try and leave as much of the ingredients in the bowl as you can, and then wash your hands. We're gonna get our baking sheet, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil in there first. Smush that around a little bit. Now you want to make 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch size meatballs. I don't know. That looks like a good size. When I made this for Valentine's Day, I didn't use turkey. I used a mixture of ground beef, pork, and veal. And I also had them shaped like hearts, obviously, which is a great Valentine's Day surprise, if you ask me. Who doesn't want spaghetti and meat hearts? Oh, look at that. The perfect amount. God, I'm good. And just like that, look at that. The oven's ready to go. The last final little touch here is we're gonna brush a little bit of oil on the tops, just to help keep them that extra little bit more moist. Keep that moisture in a little bit. You don't have to go nuts or nothing. And then we're gonna pop them in there for 15 minutes. And while that's happening, we get ready for our spaghetti. Right there, turn on high. Chuck in a bit of salt. Get up to a boil. And while we're waiting for these to cook and we're waiting for this to boil, we're gonna clean up this mess. Now that that's cleaned up, we can prep our tomatoes. These are ready to go, so we better eat them. I'm gonna save half for Daniela because I'm only gonna cook enough pasta for me right now. She'll eat when she gets home, and then it'll be fresh for her. I'd say that's about half. Now you could make a red sauce with this. When I made them for Valentine's Day, we had a bunch of leftover meatballs, and Daniela made a tomato sauce for them the next day, and it was fantastic. But day one, I like to go, I don't know what you call it. There's got to be a name. If you know the name for this style of pasta, leave me a comment and help educate me on my cooking journey. But we're just doing pasta, meatballs, olive oil, and tomatoes. So we got about 5 minutes left on these, but I think I'm gonna leave them in a little bit longer. They don't look quite like they're ready yet. They're still looking pretty pale and not really getting crunched on the outside, which is good because this water took longer than I thought to boil. This is a new pot I've never used before, but it's getting ready. We're getting some boiling. This pasta cooks in 7 minutes. Very nice, very good. And we're gonna get going on this, and hopefully by the time this is done and strained and ready to go, our meatballs will be ready. Oh, look, we got a bonus. I don't know what it's called, but we got a bonus different kind of pasta in there. Save that for later. This whole box is supposed to feed 4 people, and let me tell you, I didn't believe it, and I cooked too much the first time I used it. So I think that looks like a reasonable amount. Now we're gonna take this wooden spoon, stir that water a little bit. Put that spaghetti in there. Is that enough? I can never tell. I'm gonna put a little bit more in. If it's too much, I'll just have to eat it. We don't want this stuff to stick together. Somehow I haven't mastered that yet all the time. If you have any tips on cooking pasta to make it easier, let me know in the comments. Do you have a trick to keep the noodles from sticking together? I'm like a 50-50 on whether or not they're gonna stick together. You never know until you're eating it here. But we're gonna put that lid back on, let that get back up to a boil, and then we'll check that. I'm gonna leave the meatballs in until after I strain that, so that'll be an extra 5 minutes longer than I said originally. I still have 3 minutes left of my 7 minutes, but I don't like overcooking it, so I am gonna check it. I'm gonna do the old... Oh yeah, it's still crunch. 2 more minutes. Okay, our 7 minutes is up. Give her the old test-a-rooney. Come on. Oh, it's perfect. Right into the strainer, the colander. Oh man, maybe I did make too much again. Frig. Shake out the water. Right into the bowl. Oh, it's the perfect amount. God, I'm good. Check on the meatballs. Oh my God, they just smell so good. But, want to be safe. So we're gonna cut one open. See what it looks like. Ah, cooked. There we go. Now we can finish plating. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Add our tomato. Pour a little olive oil on her. Salt and pepper. And now it's time for us to try.
Look at that. Oh, so good. Nailed it again. Oh, you definitely got to try this. Like I said, completely gluten and lactose free. It's a perfect way to supplement a classic homemade meal. If you've got people with gluten and lactose intolerances, this is delicious. If you try it, please leave me a comment and hit that like button and let me know what you think. And if you like this, we got lots more cooking videos and other fun stuff you can do inside and out. Hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye-bye.